wonderful.
All right, and I saw lots of devotees there, which you're very happy to see.
And I got to meet so many devotees, and apart from just being online in real life. So that was wonderful. And to know that there is quite a big congregation or association in Johannesburg, or Malaysia South. So that was wonderful, and how everyone came together, and it went up until about, I think, after 7, close to 8 o'clock, in the evening.
With kirtan, and you've got good mridanga players there too.
Yes, and it was building up, and they were very enthusiastic, and it was lovely to see everyone get together after such a long time. Well, it was my first time.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. There we are. First-hand experiences from first ever Gaura Purnima. Beautiful. All right, so welcome everybody. Chintamani Devidasi is driving. Watch the road. Keep your hands on the wheel, please. Thank you very much. And Chinmoy Dev Prabhu has arrived with us today also. Chinmoy Dev Dandabat. And Radha Sundari from Navadip, from Mayapur. Oh, look, we're looking out the front of Chintamani Devi's car.
Dandabat.
Yes, Dandabat. Radha Sundari Didi. Rupanuga Prabhu from Australia joined us. Somewhere in Australia. He's always somewhere different. And Dandabat, Rupanuga Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Wherever you are, we're nearby to you, Rupanuga Prabhu. Jai. And Muktinath Prabhu has joined us from St. Petersburg, in snowy St. Petersburg, where they have a lady dog since September called Leela, who likes to go skating on the ice. The sea freezes over there. And so I've got some photos. I only learnt about her this week. Everyone kept her very quiet, but quite a big, husky kind of looking dog. And anyway, she likes to go skating on the ice. And Kumkum Devidasi with us. Jai Kumkum Devi.
Dandavat, Maharaj. Dandavat to all the devotees.
Dandavat. And of course, Praneshwari Devidasi, who Goswami Maharaj describes the Zoom mother of the whole world's devotees. And to both Chinmoy Dev and to Seva Rupa Didi, to both of you. I haven't forgotten. I've got the checking still to be completed for the savor of each of you. So please don't think you're on the forgotten list, but you may guess it's been quite a happily crazy, devotionally crazy time, and we're trying to catch up with things right now. And it still continues. Muktinath Prabhu is with us. This time today, there is 5 a.m. And tomorrow, we can put in an advert for tomorrow. Tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow, in other words, 25 hours
what are you
from
doing?
now. I'm doing fine, Jeevana, thank you. 25 hours from now, then we have a Muktinath pilgrimage reunion and 2021 online pilgrimage to Muktinath in the Himalayas. So Leelavati, this is all coming from Leelavati, Chinese Leelavati Devidasi, and she's very enthusiastic. And we actually, well, just as we planned already the parikramas for Govardhan, Vrindavan, Navadip, Puri, etc. this year, we'd planned to have them, in life, as it were, in 3D. As similarly, we'd planned also the Muktinath pilgrimages from last year, because last year they were postponed because of the coronavirus thing. And we're thinking we do it this year. So anyhow, we're going to do this year. Leelavati said, well, let's still do it. We'll do it. And we'll have a reunion of the devotees, because she has much affection for every devotee she ever meets. So she wants to bring all the devotees back together again. And we're happily doing so. So 25 hours from now, 24 hours and 53 minutes from now. All are welcome. And one devotee heard about this and said, "Oh, but is it only a reunion?" I said, "No, it's the pilgrimage. Everyone can come." And it takes a little organizing when we do it physically, because you've got to get to Nepal first, and then when you're in Nepal, you've got to get to Pokhara, which also can be an adventure to get from the capital city to Pokhara. Then you have to do all the paperwork to get your permits. Anyway, lots of things like that. So, and you've got to have some money to do it, and you've got to have the time to do it. So this year we're doing this way. So anyway, a little invitation to everybody to come and join in. And the purpose of that is for the devotees to come together. Even when we do it physically, it's the purpose. When we do it online, it's the purpose. So as we are coming together now, let's come together in the fresh air of the Himalayas. All right, today is today. So everybody's given our obeisances to each other in one sense, but let us start with our obeisances to each other. So, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. And Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, and Jai Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. And Jai Shri Nimai Sundar ki Jai. Nimai's birthday. Everybody's been Nimai conscious. Let us remain Nimai conscious throughout the year. Anu Krishna, welcome. Govinda Govinda. And Jivana, welcome. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, they welcome. Which may be, I think, Chintamani also in another way. Yeah.
Yes, I just double checked.
She's twice, because on my computer, she's in the admit room as well as online. All right. So first of all, we're coming together back to basics, idea at the foundation of our devotional life. And we are here, and it says we're on Facebook, but I don't see the live broadcast on Facebook, and I have been a good boy. Oh yes, I had to refresh it. We're on Facebook. And so those of you on Facebook, oh, Indupati Prabhu, you're there, and Basil Dev, Dandavat, 2 of us here watching from Arizona in USA. Basil, welcome. And if you're in Arizona, perhaps your friends also of Jayadev Prabhu and Chintamani, because they are very good sharers of good things. All right, and Brajamohini Devirasi from another state in the USA, and she's in Texas, USA. You all have to do some geography where all these places are. Dandavat. And Brajamohini Didi is representing the community there also, not just one devotee. So welcome to everybody. Oh, Rukmini Didi is here. Rukmini, Dandavat. I didn't give you a special mention. So
Dandavat to everyone.
Dandavat. Welcome.
Rukmini.
All right.
Raja.
Hey. Trying to get my phone hooked up here. How are you doing?
Almost ready.
Almost ready. Soon, huh?
Yes. Probably 1 week.
Almost ready, probably 1 week. Something I'm missing out on here, isn't there? A secret.
A baby girl is coming in 1 week, Maharaj.
Okay. From your very brief conversation, that was my guess. Not maybe a girl, but I didn't want to speculate, because speculation gets us into trouble, doesn't it? All right. So to all of you, welcome. And Paramanandru just joined, and Paramanandru is in the Chiang Mai Gupta Govardhan temple by the looks of the background. Am I correct? No, you're in your temple. You're home, but it looks white. Somehow the light is making the ceiling look white. That's my best poetry. That's my best Sanskrit poetry in English. The light is making the ceiling look white. All right. So I'll start off by asking to Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, because when we've got him, then we want to hear from him, because not every time he can come and doing the, also, you see, the preaching, the sharing on to the devotees with the Sunday video that he's showing, correct? Yes, anyway.
The video darshan, the movie night, that's on Saturday.
Yes. Oh, yes, so it's your Saturday, right? Our Sunday, your Saturday. So we have Chinmoy Dev Prabhu with us. So Chinmoy Prabhu, you're always with the devotees and you're always hearing from Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. Please give us a synopsis, or just like something you've observed is really a basis that we all need to give attention to, whether it's somebody new coming in or for us who are old like this or older. So think for a moment.
Well, I mean, the one video I'm doing right now, Gurudev is talking to Russian devotees. This was in 1996. Oh, we have a question too. But I'll just briefly say that he's giving like the basic information to these devotees, like what you need to know, basic, like read Bhagavad Gita, Sadhu Sangha, chanting. And one of the things he stresses is not to criticize anyone. And he says that I have personal experience of this. I've seen how dangerous this is. So he was laying heavy stress on that.
Jai.
Yeah.
And this is Gurudev. This is very much Gurudev. And then secondly, now you're witnessing it, like you're seeing it in a recording. And this is a video, is it, Prabhu?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it seems like he's written out instructions for the devotees there. And that's one of the top ones, not to criticize. And I think he did something similar for this for Sanatani's son, Kalachan, who he wrote out a series of instructions. It's actually in Italy.
What is on the wall here, one of the first things in Italy, which is what you're referring to, when you enter the ashram here in Italy, one of the first things on the wall in front of you is framed a photograph of that was for Kalachan that Gurudev wrote. And it's his handwriting. And maybe I can go through and take a photograph of it, because I don't have it easily at hand, you can say, but I do if I run out there and take a photograph and come back.
Yeah, I think it's very similar instructions to what Gurudev was telling the Russian devotees.
Indeed, and not only that, it's not a coincidence. I mean, he told everybody about this, but here we have, if you like, in black and white, in Gurudev's handwriting, what he's telling. And there you've got in black and white and green and saffron and all other colors on the video of Srila Gurudev saying the same thing. So we look forward to seeing that and you sharing that with everybody. And I can go through and see that. Let me just, first of all, we've got a question, a raised hand from Radha Sundari Didi, and maybe it's a question for you, Chinmoy Dev Prabhu. So everybody keep up your ears open in case it's your question. Let's see.
Dandavat Maharaj. I have my friend Megan with me and she will read the question. Does she have a question?
Yes, Megan.
Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
So I was just wondering whether we can cultivate loving relationships without also creating a dependency on those whom we love.
So we're talking about this world, you mean?
Yeah, I'm talking about this world. And there's one second part to the question, which is how can we find a healthy balance of serving with love spontaneously and serving through duty when sharing our hearts with others?
All right. Okay. So good question. So the first one is how can we love others without getting dependency upon them? In other words, material attachment. Okay. So let's go one step at a time. So keep your paper handy. So first of all, we want to love in relation to the Lord. So we want to have our heart soft, open, ready to love the Lord and love those who are dear to him. And Gurudev used the expression, maybe Chinmoydev has a video somewhere of Gurudev saying, if you love me, love my dog. So this is an expression, and this is how we will proceed. We are in particular to love those that are dear to our masters, and those who are dear to Krishna are the Vaishnavas. The dearest of those are specifically our Guru, and those we have some senior devotees that we have some respect for. And then everything in relation to Krishna, Guru and Vaishnava, there we want to give our heart. We are not heartless. And Gurudev has given some examples about heartlessness, but we want to be heartful. And so in this world also, we want to keep our affection with the devotees. To be attached to the devotees is not wrong. It's being attached to non-devotees and the non-devotional section. This is the difficulty. This binds us within this world, but to be attached to the devotees is healthy for us. So we give our affection to the devotees, we give our affection to everything in relation to Krishna, and we will be compassionate, which is different than affectionate, with all other things. Again, people have pets, they have dogs, they have cats, and you can't, in most cases, and unless you're have a rare pet and you have a rare mentality, most cases, they're not really Vaishnavas. Only by accident is your dog a Vaishnava, by feeding him some food or something. But in reality, if you give him a choice of prasadam or some dead body, he's probably immediately going to be very happy. Oh, why don't you feed me these dead bodies more often? They're wonderful. So, we want to keep our emotions more in the devotee line than in the line of the mundane life in this world. But we will do our best for them. We'll do our best for the pets. We'll do our best for the humans who don't have Krishna consciousness. So we need to be little detached from the mundane, those that are mundane thinking persons, people who don't have faith in Krishna. And actually, we also have examples where we've had devotees who have been following nicely, devotees have made friendship with them, and then they've gone another way on the journey. So you have a friend who's a devotee, but then now they've left either the proper devotional conception or they've left devotional service, and really taken a wrong turn in life by whatever reason, bad association, by offenses, by just unavoidable karma. Then we have like specific cases where I can remember Gurudev in Dum Dum Park being unhappy, like almost you can say disturbed, unhappy, with one of the older devotees who was keeping association with like 2 or 3 people who had left from the mat, gone quite a different way, and really, you can say, not good association. Very difficult when somebody's mind changes along the way. And Gurudev saying, he's keeping that, and said, when I asked him why, he said, oh, they are my friends. They are my friends from when they're in the mat. And then Gurudev made it clear, yes, friends, when they are in the line and in the temple, if they will go away, it is dangerous for us to keep our affection and our friendship there. So this way, our ideal, we must always keep our ship running in a clean line. And we are very happy to be in the Sankirtan with other ships going that direction. But if a ship goes off course, then we're not going to keep that close association. So Yes, love and affection. And you see, Krishna is 100% reliable. This is the point. Whereas in this world, not everything is 100% reliable because it's the material world. And Guru Maharaj reminds us that we are in the association of other patients. It's not that we are in Vaikuntha and trying to go from Vaikuntha upwards, but we're in the material world. And here we are in the association of other patients. And so with the help of each other, we are coming forward, but we will never be let down by Krishna. And so we do not want any heartbreak. We do not want anything unfortunate to happen. So we will put our heart to Krishna, to Guru, and to the Vaishnavas, the solid Vaishnava section, and put our heart to others. And Gurudev was actually heartbroken, literally. I mean, like a teenage boy or a teenage girl, the breakup of boy and girl, that kind of heartbrokenness. Gurudev was heartbroken over, I can immediately think of one or two, but like a specific devotee who went away from, Guru Maharaj and everything, like went away in an unhappy way. And Gurudev, he had so much affection for that devotee and he did so much service and then suddenly gone in another way. And it's like day after day, Gurudev was, very heartbroken. So we have to keep perspective of where we're putting our affection and putting our love. So, this is my comment on hearing your question, but we are not heartless. And another thing from Gurudev is that we're not to be always suspicious. We'll always try to trust. And then we are not going around analyzing everybody, but we're giving our faith, our trust to those who are coming. They're coming with sincerity. So people are coming into our association. We want to give our heart to them. But the attachment part, when they're Vaishnavas, wonderful. But when not Vaishnavas, we'll give affection, we'll give something to try to encourage them to become devotees. But we won't keep their close association, or we can say our love, as you're saying. We won't keep close association if they're not actually devotees as such. We'll give our limited association and we'll give our heart to Krishna. Everything Krishna, we'll give our heart to that. So this is my comment about your first question. And your second question, just remind us all, Rupa Vilas Prabhu's joined us, also Narayani Nadia, but Narayani we know her as shorter. Narayani Reddy's joined us, so Dandavat to you both. And
Dandavat.
Dandavat Narayani.
Okay.
Somebody's baby's already appeared in the world. Yes, your second question?
And the second question, Maharaj, is how can we find a healthy balance of serving with love spontaneously and through serving with love through duty when we're sharing our heart with others?
Okay, well, maybe I can pass this question. Oh, who shall I pass the question to? We have so many qualified. Chinmoy is pointing to somebody, but to Rupa Nuga Prabhu, Rupa Vilas Prabhu, yes? I'm not sure if everybody sees the same screen, the way you're pointing. I'm not sure if it's... Anyway, Rupa Vilas Prabhu, the indicator came to you. So Rupa Vilas, he's Guru Maharaj's disciple. He's an older devotee. He's looking very young, but from the 1984 or 85, somewhere around there. Long-time devotee, Rupa Vilas Prabhu. Share your reflections about this question.
Can I hear again the question, please? It's something about love, right?
Well, yes. Please say to us. Did you just remind us your name also? Sorry, I only heard it once. I didn't capture properly.
My name is Megan Maharaj.
M-A-G-E-N?
Megan.
Megan. Megan. Okay. Yes, Megan, please ask again your question.
How can we find a healthy balance of serving with love spontaneously and serving with love through duty when sharing our heart with others?
While sharing our heart with others. Yes. Rupa Vilas Prabhu, you have a heart and you do service. I'm sure you can give us some idea.
Yes, first of all, my dandavat to each and everyone, and good morning from the Philippines. I was late in coming because I was attending to some questions from other devotees. Anyway, usually when devotees try to approach us, we immediately tells them we follow some processes. No, not in the beginning, of course, that there is love. First, we have to follow the process of Adahu, Sadha, Tato, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. So Sadhu Sangha is very important. You have to learn from the devotees the proper and rightful way to do that. Then after that, you develop sasan, then intimacy to do that. And then the inclination, the love has becoming to sprout in you. And to test yourself, sometimes it comes that when you are alone, it will show how much you have learned from your lessons, what you heard from the devotees. And then when you try to pass that situations, then I said that kind of love that we are hunting for, immediately it comes and is brought, and the Lord, He is watching us. He knows what is inside our heart. So He tried to guide us the proper way. And then you will find out that sooner or later, after that many years had passed, you will notice that you are there already doing. And when you say, what is love? Sometimes when they ask me, what is love? I said, I don't know. What I know is I want to serve the Lord and the devotees. That's all.
Jai Rupa Vilas Prabhu. Always happy to hear from you, from your heart, Rupa Vilas. He's got a big heart, and that's what we hear when he speaks. Hare Krishna. Yes, and now where Chinmoy Dev was showing, then Brajamohini Didi is there. Maybe something, Brajamohini, some reflection about maybe regulative service, spontaneous service, but with love. Correct, Megan? This idea?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes.
Thank you.
What is the question, Maharaj? I don't understand the question.
Okay. Okay, well, yes, Megan can say herself again. Otherwise, I can also explain as I understand. Radha Sundari?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so not Radha Sundari, Megan, yes.
Yeah, okay. So how can we find a healthy balance of serving with love spontaneously and serving with love through duty when sharing our heart with others?
While sharing our heart with others, okay? Spontaneously, duty, while sharing our heart with others. How to make the balance?
I don't really understand. I understand the first part, but I don't understand how while sharing our heart with others. You mean when you're trying to preach to someone? When you're trying to explain it, or when you're practicing it? I don't really understand what you're asking.
I was meaning generally when trying to serve the devotees and people in general, there's a certain amount of service we do through duty, but then to try and find a balance of serving with spontaneous love, like how to find a balance of the different types of service generally within our life.
I guess that's something we always have to think about, huh? But I like what you're saying about you have a very affectionate mood, so I think the affectionate mood is the most important thing. But I don't know, Maraj. I can't really think of how to answer or how to say anything about this.
Okay, no problem. And
maybe Paramananda Prabhu knows something about it.
Paramananda Prabhu, special request to hear from you.
Who is that volunteering me? Is that Praneshwari Didi?
No, I think it's Radha Sundari, isn't it? Or is it Praneshwari? I think maybe if we ask for hands, I think lots of us are volunteering you. There's a hand on the screen too, yes.
It's always wonderful to hear opinions and realizations of the devotees. It's not an easy question. At the same time, it's been answered. When you are on a platform of spontaneous service, devotional service, there is no questions about duties or responsibilities. You do it spontaneously. It's a free flow of love. Anything coming to you, you will do it happily and you will desire for more. Once you've done that, you will desire for even more. And there's a beautiful verse describing how Lalita Sakhi by Rupa Goswami in Lalitashtakam, how she is desiring thousands of millions of hands, millions of bodies, so that she can serve Krishna constantly. And she is hankering for the lowest type of service. So this is our aspiration. So spontaneous love, there will be no question about duties or responsibilities. You will always serve Krishna with love. And you will always serve Krishna devotees, Krishna associates with love. Krishna will always be in your heart. So it's the question about putting Krishna in the center of your life. His desires in the center of your life. Not your desires, not your ideas, not your interests. So we have to abandon that. So this is the process of Sharanagati. This is where we're going to. But like Rupa Vilas Prabhu, he described a perfect way, association. And we hear that famous verse that Srila Gurudev liked to quote, that was said by Kapila Muni to his mother, Devahuti. Satat prasanga mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karnara sayana katha. Jajjo senada swapavar gavartmani shradharatir bhaktir anukramishiti. So Kapila Muni is telling to Devahuti, if you want perfection, if you want to achieve your final goal of life, then you mix with those who are always enjoying nectarian talks about your Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's names. Just be with them, associate with them. And then slowly, Shraddha will come to you. The Shraddha will turn into attachment. You will relish that taste. You will not even imagine yourself not relishing that taste. And that will lead you to bhakti, and eventually it will take you to prema stage. But Kapila Muni, he adds at the end, and that little ending is very important. He says, Anukramishiti, little step at a time. And Srila Guru Maharaj used to say, it has to happen naturally. It cannot be forced. It cannot be imitated. It must descend upon you. You must pray for it. And when it comes, it comes. Then the spontaneous flow, you will enter the spontaneous flow, which is ahaituki apratihata. It's unstoppable and unmotivated. There is no reason to that. Like Srila Guru Maharaj describes Krishna's pastimes and Krishna movements, like there is no rhyme, no reason, no, what is it, Maharaj? What's the full expression? No rhyme, no reason, no, I forgot the third one. Anyhow, we know that. It will come to you by the grace of the devotees of the Lord and by the grace of the Lord. Then there will be no question like that. So don't worry about trying to figure out where is the balance between spontaneous love and duty or responsibilities that we have to do. In fact, everything we do must have a basis. And Srila Govinda Maharaj, Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj used to say, whatever we do, the basis of that must be love and affection. That is covered already. So we start from there. with love and affection, serving with other devotees, having association with other devotees, taking the association of the advanced devotees, the sadhus, the saints, and that will take us there. We will enter that flow. There is no doubt about it. I hope that answered your question a little bit.
Yes,
also,
you.
Krishna, in the first question, Krishna was saying in Bhagavad Gita, and I think that's an answer in itself. He's giving that verse, Titikshava Karunika Sukridam Sarvadehinam Ajanta Shantava Shatra Sadavak Sadhubhushana. He says that devotee of Krishna, the one who is connected to Krishna, who loves Krishna, automatically he is very merciful and very affectionate to all the living beings. He said, Sukridam Sarvadehinam, not just humans or not just devotees, everybody. So we must have that affection. We must develop that affection. If we're not affectionate to each other, then how can we be affectionate to Krishna? How can we get that love? It's impossible. So again, back to Gurudev's statement, everything we do must be done with love and affection. Our dedication must be with love and affection, not out of duties, not out of responsibilities. But in the beginning, of course, we do that out of duties and responsibilities, but you cannot just do it because of that. That means there is some affection, there is some love in your heart that drives you. It takes you there. And sometimes you have to sacrifice something. So there are always love and affection, like an undercurrent. Nothing possible without that.
Thank you.
Gurudev.
Yes, Praneshwari.
Yes, Maharaj. When there is an expression when many people are doing something very, very well, they are just like making a cake, and when it's finished, you put the cherry on top, and the cherry on top, Kumkum Didi is going to give us.
And she knows, maybe not. Kumkum Devi.
Okay, so as I understand it now, this is about that cherry on top of we are trying to do service, and naturally we have some affection, or we wouldn't want to do the duty, but I believe it's more of an evolution from serving out of duty, because we are driven by some love, which is there. There must be some attraction and some love. And then as we proceed like that, then the natural spontaneous love will be something we can't even hold back. We can't curb this natural love. Once we're serving such exalted personalities and our Lord, then out of duty, and they're recognizing that, they're also reciprocating. So it's impossible for us not to proceed and not to have the greatest joy that will come like that. So I'm actually very inspired by hearing all the devotees speaking, and I'm thinking I can perhaps give, do you know what chopsticks is? And when you play the piano and it's just the two notes, I can give perhaps that kind of song compared to the great, great aria that Paramananda Prabhu and others have given to describe this beautiful question. How do we want to do in service and duty? That's very important, and that will attract those that we are sincere, and they will reciprocate with us, and then naturally the blossom of love for all of it will be unbounded.
Jai. And we can be reminded too of the Upadeshamritam of Rupa Goswami, which is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings coming through Rupa Goswami's pen. So there also the 7th verse, and Rupa Goswami has written about how, I mean, I don't have the literal translation exactly in front of me, but how that it is amazing that although in the beginning our tongue doesn't have a taste for these topics, it doesn't have a taste for the holy name, it doesn't have a taste for hearing about the pastimes, form, wonderful qualities of Krishna, etc. But it is a wonderful thing that just by carefully chanting every day, which means you could say some duty, some routine, in the beginning it's not tasteful, but then gradually the taste comes to our tongue, and then we come to relish the name and all the topics about Krishna. This is the 7th verse of Rupa Goswami's very short Upadeshamritam of Mahaprabhu's teaching. So these all give us some understanding about how to keep that balance, because it's also, we do have some duty, and sometimes we do have to take a stick and hit our mind to do the right thing. So it'll be wonderful when we do get to Goloka Vrindavan and everything is spontaneous. But we have to accept, sometimes we do need to try to make our life, we need to sort of consciously bring ourselves a little dutiful sometimes to chant our japa, to go to the program, etc. And I know myself, we're thinking, oh, I've got other things to do, or you do somehow, something's telling you, oh, don't go to the program. And then, I've consciously, repeatedly noticed myself that we're going down we're in the bhajans where somebody's reading a translation, we're hearing something in there, and it started to think, what was I thinking when I was hesitating to come to the bhajan? It's like we're down here, we're reading the bhajan, singing the songs, reading the translations, hearing some reading from the scripture. What was I thinking to hesitate to come? So sometimes we need to give a little discipline to our mind, but it is good for us. And so similarly to others, we're sharing with others, but we also need to share that, we do have some routine each day for our nourishment. Try not to neglect it. And this is itself waking up the taste, and not only to be cured, but then the positive taste in the positive world. But step by step, small steps at a time, as Paramananda Prabhu pointed out. This is my 10 cents worth. Who gave the other day $5 worth? And I thought, it's Vaidehi. Vaidehi in her class. She does a regular Saturday class from Santa Cruz Temple there in America. She's now started. She's done maybe 3 now, or maybe 4.
Maybe
Today's
4, and it's on Monday night.
It's Monday night. She said, this is my $5 worth. I thought, she's giving so much to the world. Because our expression has always been, this is my 10 cents worth. So she's giving $5. Yes. Megan, you undid your microphone. Did you have some additional point about this?
No, I just wanted to thank everyone for all your lovely answers and inspiration. Thank you very much.
All right. I thank them too, and we thank you for your question. Questions? Hare Krishna. And does anybody else have an ether raised hand for any matter?
Maharaj, I would like to just ask a little question about the criticism that Chinmoy Prabhu was talking. Is that criticism, it's only when you actually say something? Because sometimes we just have so many in our mind that we may not say it, but it's in our mind. So is that included in that criticism?
Well, we can pass this to Chinmoy Prabhu in a moment, but I just want to say something that comes in my mind. That is that we've just been mentioning about Upadeshamritam. And if you see that big Upadeshamritam publication from the mat, there it's got Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur explaining about this tendency of criticism, etc. And he is telling it that definitely this is not just external, but internal as well. And not that even to the extent of, sometimes there's some conversation going on and in our mind comes the answer, like we want to contribute to that, but I know that, we're not meant to say it. So we don't say it, but still it is in our mind. Even that we want to push to the side and not allow our mind to go there. I mean, I can just say that because it's like so clear there in the commentaries of the Upadeshamritam. And that's Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's comment.
I think he's referring to the text number 6, the verse number 6 of Upadeshamrita, in that connection.
And verse number 6 is that...
It starts from Drishtva Svabhava Janitaya Vapushascha Dosha Na Prakritasya Iha Bhakta Janasya Pasya.
Right.
Ganga Basam Nakala Buddha Pena Pankar Swadvikramat Bhavatitat Gadamula Hantri. He's saying that if you understand the divine nature of the devotee, that there is no fault since the beginning, he is not prakritized, he is not of material world, he is not of material qualities. So if you see that in the heart of the devotee, that he is fully divine in his nature, then you will not have any grounds for criticism. But we have to develop that vision, and then he compares foam and all sorts of debris, and the water seems to be not very clear because of mud. But then he concludes, but this is the nature of that. You don't have to pay attention to bubbles and the dirt in the water. Pay attention to the substance, what is in the heart of the Vaishnava. So na prakritasya iha bhakta janasya pashet, he says. The bhakta, the devotee, is always pure. There is nothing prakrita, nothing mundane in his heart.
Right, indeed. And not just, but as Rukmini is saying, not just not to say it, not to say that I'm seeing that, but not to feel it also. I mean, everything starts from inside. So this is the point. And also maybe Chinmoy Dev Prabhu, he's got something directly from the video he's just been watching that can shed a little light on that.
No, but I have trouble understanding this as well, because it seems like this type of criticism they're talking about is based on envy. And that's what we want to try to avoid, and not criticism as such as understanding who a person is. I mean, for example, if we know somebody who has a tendency, possibly a devotee, who likes to steal things, you're not going to be like, come to my house and I'm going to go out and you just hang out there and now everything's going to be okay. You need to understand the nature of a person. But a criticism that's based on envy, I think that's the real fault here. But I don't know if I'm right on that one.
It's an angle of view, and I'm also trying to think whether that's 100% always, but certainly yes, envy will produce that result. And another aspect I can just mention from Guru Maharaj, and it's in one of the sermons of the Guardian of Devotion books, Guru Maharaj is mentioning, I think it's in one of the sermons books, but Guru Maharaj is mentioning how that our tendency to criticize others means that, he says to judge others, but it's in this line of like criticism and he's good, he's not good. Judgment in the material world implies that I am the judge, that I am perfect and I can say what is right. And this is good and this is bad. And this is perhaps it's also, anyhow, it sounds as though it can easily be in a commentary of the Upadeshamritam, though I think it's in one of the sermons. So this tendency that, I know everything properly, I am the standard by which everything can be judged. Goswami Maharaj, he says about drivers, he says a tendency of a car driver is that anybody who's going slower than me is dawdling. They're not giving attention. Anyone who's going faster than me is reckless. I am driving at the right speed. So this way we want to take ourselves from being the standard And instead, as Gurudev repeatedly says, this tendency is to see any faults, which is, you can say, criticism of others, that I use on myself, find those faults and correct them, not just say, oh, I'm faulty, but look in myself and correct them. And of course, Gurudev is giving this example for us all. He is showing us all, and really he is showing us what is a devotee. And he's showing us what is a guru also, but he is showing us what is a devotee, to be devoted.
Well, Maharaj, I think Chinmoy Prabhu pointed rightly that the envy is the key and the root of all our issues, all our problems. In fact, why we're here is because of that primeval envy we had towards the Lord, because we wanted to enjoy separately. So we made that choice since the beginning. So when the Srimad Bhagavatam starts, the second verse stresses that point, that to grasp what is it to set in Srimad, to understand what we're going to discuss in Srimad Bhagavatam in this particular scripture, and which is mostly about Krishna, his devotees, his pastimes. You have to be envy-free. Dharma projita kaitavocha paramo nirmatsaranam sadam. You have to be nirmatsara, envy-free. Then something will enter your heart. This is really the key issue that we have. And from there sprouts all sorts of weeds that we're supposed to clear, the anarthas that grow like a jungle sometime in our hearts, in my heart at least.
Jai, yes, very good point. Jai, all these enemies of us, envy, lust, greed, anger, specifically pointed out. So yes, good points, good reflections. Praneshwari Devirasi.
Yes, Maharaj, in the chat you have verse number 7.
Okay. And in the chat we can have verse number 6 too, which we just heard. Not to see any faults in the devotees, like the Ganges water. Actually, it is very good for us to revisit, actually, all the time, Upadeshamritam. It's so important for us. And in the chat, I see Praneshwari Devidasi says to everyone, when you share what you are doing, when you share what you feel, when you are doing your seva in a spontaneous way, or when you are doing a seva that has been prescribed as a duty, both situations will give you joy. Both situations will give you joy, and that will be perceived very clearly by those you are preaching to. Those are your joyful heart will reflect the ruchi you experience when doing seva, and that captivates those who listen to you. Jai, and is this from you or is this a quotation from somewhere?
No, this was my grain of sand for the answer. But what I wanted you to see is the verse that is below that. The Shiropadesamrita verse 7 that you were mentioning.
Oh, yes. Yes, very good. Everybody can see this verse and take it.
So Maharaj, can I ask you a question then?
Of course. I may not be able to answer, but you can ask.
So I'm just trying to understand, because it seems like there's a difference between criticism and what people who have positions like gurus and acharyas and managers, they have to like understand the faults, but still not criticize, because they're yes. managing something. They have to realize this person's good for this person's good for this. So I'm just understanding, is it just a difference of consciousness?
Yes.
Okay.
There is one person here in our chat when we were discussing the characteristics of somebody and how to engage, and then said there's an expression, you don't put a fox to guard the chickens. So you've got to figure out, okay, this is a fox, a fox is a fox, what can you do? But as a manager, And as an organizer of sevā, etc., then you don't put the fox to guard the chickens. And I heard that expression once. I thought, oh, it's actually stuck with me. I thought that's a good example. So yes, so it is not in the mood of criticism. It's a mood of observation, and then the responsibility to give appropriate sevā. Then it needs to be done harmoniously, appropriate sevā for appropriate capacity and appropriate nature. So yes, and on that point also I can just mention that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in a reply to a devotee who was pointing out some faults in the manager, maybe on behalf of a few people, but the manager of their particular temple of the Gaudiya Math, they sort of brought to Srila Saraswati Thakur's attention that, oh, he's posted as a manager, but such and such, such and such, such and such. And Srila Saraswati Thakur replied to that devotee that it is not your duty to see those faults in the person. I have to, because I'm the acharya. I have to see those particular qualities, but I do not wish that on anybody else, that they must see the bad qualities of others. But I have to, because I have to correct them. And I thought that was also extremely humble expression of Saraswati Thakur. But it was right to the point that if it's not our duty, then to be engaged in that service of, for instance, management or correction, then we are not to look there. We're only to see the devotee side.
Well,
And
Gurudev used to express
unmuted. Yes, Prabhu.
Affectionate correction. So that's how we should do. And those devotees who are in those positions, they're supposed to be a mature devotee. We have some experience. I mean, this tendency will always remain with us. We have that tendency. But when you're mature enough, you can check it in your. When you have that tendency arise, then you can check it. And then you can think for a while. And then before you do any correction I think it's used to be called constructive criticism, something like that. You're trying to correct person, but it's not personal. You're just thinking about the sevā that needs to be done, and you're not wishing that person. You're not, malicious towards that person. You're trying to give a good correction, good guidance. But sometime before you give that, you must explain what is wrong with what he did before. So it seems like a criticism, but actually not really. It's a part of that affectionate correction. So you're explaining what is wrong that you did. And now that you understand what was wrong, how about we try to do it in a better way? So the affectionate correction mood, that was Gurudev's expression.
2 words, affectionate correction. Yes. Hare Krishna. Anyhow, always good to have you all with us. Means with each other. We have this opportunity. And as does happen, then we have to keep our wheels turning with various duties. And I have some duty which I also try to do out of we are also doing affectionately. I have some duty coming up, which is calling on me for some duty. And we are doing all of our activities for the affectionate service of our affectionate masters. I mean, we know that, yes, in the beginning we may think like nobody wants to go back to school. Well, I don't want to go back to school, put it that way, and have the teachers telling you this, this, and this, and you're really just waiting for the time on the clock. When's the bell going to ring and I can get out of school? We don't want that kind of mentality we don't want to enter into that as a student or as a teacher, imposing those things. But we do want to understand, actually, this is our life. It's our joyful life. And we're coming to something which is not foreign to us, but it is ourselves. It's what our real home is made of. But we can't expect full spontaneous devotion until we come to the land of full spontaneous devotion, which is Goloka Vrindavan by the grace of our masters.
Actually, Maharaj, I have to say that you've been doing that affectionate correction for a very long time.
Prabhu, I am not doing it
And really, it's just my experience, and I'm pretty sure experience of many other devotees. When we would arrive to the mat in Navadvip, when you see Mahananda or hear Mahananda, immediately you're checking yourself. Are you okay? The tilak is in the place, the dhoti kurta, everything is good, you have service to do. Really, that is the thought that I had every time I would hear your voice or see you from a distance.
You see, I
And
told
that was
you.
affectionate. I wasn't scared of you. No, automatically it would just happen. Just because of sight of you, I will immediately try to correct myself. And you keep doing that, by the way.
Well, I can't hear any of that except that I know I had a title that I gave myself because I thought, oh no, that's what they're thinking. Mahananda the monster is coming. So
Mahananda the cookie monster.
The cooking monster.
Cookie monster.
Cookie monster. Okay.
The kid's character.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Thankfully, I've been saved from him. All right, dear devotees, you may stay together, but I need to keep moving. And Praneshri Didi has put the invitation for the for the Muktinath virtual parikrama and reunion exactly this time tomorrow, in fact, and exactly this time the next day. So if you feel your legs are up to it, come for a Himalayan walk. You'll get good exercise. We hope good exercise of the devotional heart in the company of devotees. So let us come together for that happily. In the meantime, there we are. Invitation to share 2020 Himalayan pilgrimage online and the reunion, retracing of our pilgrimages to Muktinath of 18 and 19. All are welcome. Last year was postponed due to the pandemic. With this year, we can all participate by heart online. Harikatha, Kirtan, readings and recollections en route with the pilgrims. And then a quotation from Srila Guru Maharaj. The present is at our hand. We don't know about our future. We must try to use the time at hand to its best advantage. And how will our time be best used? In the association of saints and scriptures. So Lilavati is organizing all this. She has a good heart. Let us all come together by her inspiration and the inspiration of each other. Dandavat Pranam, all good devotees. May we meet again very soon. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Dandavat one and all on Facebook and on Zoom, and those who will see us later. Dandavat Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Sri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. And thank each and every one of you.
Jai Srila Bhakti Ranjan Manasur Maharaj ki
jai.
Time to go.
Thank you, Maharaj. Beautiful class as always.